కాల్ చేయన్నా ఆయనకు జాయిన్ అయినా ఒట్టే వాళ్ళు
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna. Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Ram, Ram. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Ram. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram. Krishna, Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram. Krishna, Krishna, Ram. Krishna, Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Deepa Mataji, Samyukta Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Salguru Srila Prabhupada Gurudev.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, is it audible, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah, Dandavat Pranam. Yeah, Hare Krishna, Sandhya Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Salguru Srila Prabhupada Gurudev. Thank you very much for joining. Mataji, Deepa Mataji, can you please conduct? I will be hearing, but sometimes.
You are
Can
not.
you? I am making you host, Mataji. Okay.
Okay.
Are you in front of system?
I will log in, Prabhuji. I'm actually logging in from the phone. Just give me 2 minutes. I'll log in.
Yeah, please.
Are you not well, Prabhuji?
Actually, till yesterday till 12 o'clock. By the time I came home, it was 12 o'clock from Statue of Equality. I went
Oh, okay.
that program. I alone. I went through my scooty. I wanted to explore the place. So I came by 12 o'clock, Mataji. Kind of some kind of cold. I am not getting anything, but voice changed. Little bit tired, but I'll be in reading also. Don't worry, I'll read also. It was a very good experience, Mataji. Yesterday, it's also Vaishnavism, Sri Ramanujacharya.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Wonderful place, and it's a lifetime.
Everything is built,
Something.
Prabhuji, in the temples and everything is built, huh?
It's built. The 108 Divya Deshas. They are going to install every day some of the deities for in all 14 days. Another 10 more days there till 14th. These programs they conducting yajnas and discourses, and every day they are going to install some deities in those 108 Divya Deshas around Ramanujacharya's deity form. Its big form is there, right?
Yeah.
So actually, Prime Minister opened that we can go all the way through the top and take Pradakshina and we can spend some time there. That he opened, that is open for public now. But the 108 around is Vigraha. Still, some of the upachara, some of the what is that avahana, some kind of deity installations going on. So it is not open for public right now. After 14th, it will be opened with the installation of each particular deity in each temple, Mataji. 108 Divya Deshas. So wonderful Vaishnava community. One has to go and experience the bliss. So seriously, yesterday I spent almost 6 hours time. Wonderful time I had. If at all possible, please visit before 14th and take nice prasad there. They also prepare without onion, garlic, and offer to Narayana and their Ramanujacharya and their gurus. We can take prasad, no worries. There, it's a big Vaishnava community, and it's going to be popular in very soon. They have wonderful programs planned. They wanted to start Gurukulas for entire world and spreading this Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and Vedas and all the right mantras, Vedic mantras, performing yajnas. They wanted to teach.
Yeah.
It's a very big mantra, very nice.
Yeah. I'm on the system, Prabhuji. You can make me the host.
Yeah, sure. Well, Lavish Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Tarna Pranam. Praveen Prabhu, Aryan Prabhu, Dunda
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna, Pranam Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Pranam.
Danda Pranam Prabhuji. Yeah, Deepa Mata is going to share screen and Mataji, whenever you all know, right, as practice, we say, that Agyanati Minandasya and then Prabhupada Pranati and then Panchatattva. Then Hare Krishna. You can start with that and we'll read.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Yeah, we at 11th we have already read. From 12th we can start, Mata.
Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Thank you very much, Mataji. Whenever we read, as we are situated and wonderful and glorious Guru Parampara, these are the regular short prayers, Mataji. Normally we have all the prayers there. Vandeham, Shri Guru, Shri Guru, that's there. With a simple everyday we reading, just take Prabhupada blessings and Guru's one prayer, Panchatattva prayer. That's enough. Yeah. Yes, Mataji. You can continue.
Yeah. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Knowledge of self-realization, even though free from all material affinity, does not look well if devoid of a conception of the infallible God. What then is the use of fruitive activities which are naturally painful from the very beginning and transient by nature, if they are not utilized for the devotional service of the Lord? Purport. As referred to above, not only ordinary literatures devoid of the transcendental glorification of the Lord are condemned, but also Vedic literatures and speculation on the subject of impersonal Brahman when they are devoid of devotional service. When speculation on the impersonal Brahman is condemned on the above ground, then what to speak of ordinary fruitive work, which is not meant to fulfill the aim of devotional service? Such speculative knowledge and fruitive work cannot lead one to the goal of perfection. Fruitive work, in which almost all people in general are engaged, is always painful either in the beginning or at the end. It can be fruitful only when made subservient to the devotional service of the Lord. In the Bhagavad Gita also, it is confirmed that the result of such fruitive work may be offered for the service of the Lord. Otherwise, it leads to material bondage. The bona fide enjoyer of the fruitive work is the personality of Godhead. And thus, when it is engaged for the sense gratification of the living beings, it becomes an acute source of trouble. Samyukta Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Yeah. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. O Vyasadeva, your vision is completely perfect. Your good fame is spotless. You are firm in woe and situated in truthfulness. And thus you can think of the pastimes of the Lord in trance for the liberation of the people in general from all material bondage. Purport. People in general have a taste for literatures by instinct. They want to hear and read from the authorities something about the unknown, but their taste is exploited by unfortunate literatures which are full of subject matter for satisfaction of the material senses. Such literatures contain different kinds of mundane poems and philosophical speculations, more or less under the influence of Maya, ending in sense gratification. These literatures, although worthless in the true sense of the term, are variously decorated to attract the attention of the less intelligent men. Thus, the attracted living entities are more and more entangled in material bondage without hope of liberation for thousands and thousands of generations. Sri Narada Rishi, being the best amongst the Vaishnavas, is compassionate toward such unfortunate victims of worthless literatures, and thus he advises Sri Vyasadeva to compose transcendental literature which is not only attractive but can also actually bring liberation from all kinds of bondage. Srila Vyasadeva or his representatives are qualified because they are rightly trained to see things in true perspective. Srila Vyasadeva and his representatives are pure in thought due to their spiritual enlightenment, fixed in their vows due to their devotional service, and determined to deliver the fallen souls rotting in material activities. The fallen souls are very eager to receive novel information every day, and the transcendentalists like Vyasadeva or Narada can supply such eager people in general with unlimited news from the spiritual world. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that the material world is only a part of the whole creation, and that this earth is only a fragment of the whole material world. Shall I continue, Mataji, or else
We can take next. Lavanya Mataji, are you there?
Sure, Mataji. Thank you.
Lavanya Mataji, are you there? Okay.
I can read. If
Yeah.
Lavanya
Mataji, I'm with Brinda Mataji. Please continue.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Yes,
she's going to school.
Yeah. Yes, Mataji. Next.
Shall I continue, Mataji?
Who? Samyukta Mataji.
Yeah, no, it's Sandhya.
Sandhya. Yes, Mataji. You can continue.
There are thousands and thousands of literary men all over the world, and they have created many thousands of literary works for the information of the people in general for thousands and thousands of years. Unfortunately, none of them have brought peace and tranquility on the earth. This is due to a spiritual vacuum in those literatures. Therefore, the Vedic literatures, especially Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, are specifically recommended to suffering humanity to bring about the desired effect of liberation from the pangs of material civilization, which is eating the vital part of human energy. The Bhagavad Gita is a spoken message of the Lord himself, recorded by Vyasadeva, and the Srimad Bhagavatam is the transcendental narration of the activities of the same Lord Krishna, which alone can satisfy the hankering desires of living being for eternal peace and liberation from miseries. Srimad Bhagavatam, therefore, is meant for all the living beings all over the universe for total liberation from all kinds of material bondage. Such transcendental narrations of the pastimes of the Lord can be described only by liberated souls like Vyasadeva and his bona fide representatives who are completely merged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Only to such devotees do the pastimes of Lord and their transcendental nature become automatically manifest by dint of devotional service. No one else can either know or describe the acts of the Lord, even if they speculate on the subject for many years. The descriptions of the Bhagavatam are so precise and accurate that whatever has been predicted in this great literature about 5,000 years ago is now exactly happening. Therefore, the vision of the author comprehends past, present, and future. Such liberated persons as Vyasadeva are perfect not only by the power of vision and wisdom, but also in oral reception, in thinking, feeling, and all other sense activities. A liberated person possesses perfect senses, and with perfect senses only can one serve the sense proprietor, Rishikesha, Krishna, the personality of Godhead. Srimad Bhagavatam, therefore, is the perfect description of all the perfect personality of Godhead by the all perfect personality Srila Vyasadeva, the compiler of the Vedas. Hare Krishna.
Aryan Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna. Translation. Whatever you desire to describe that is separate in vision from the Lord simply reacts with different forms, names, and results to agitate the mind as the wind agitates a bow which has no resting place. Purport. Sri Vyasadeva is the editor of all descriptions of the Vedic literatures, and thus he has described transcendental realization in different ways, namely by fruitive activity, speculative knowledge, mystic power, and devotional service. Besides that, in his various Puranas, he has recommended the worship of so many demigods in different forms and names. The results in that people in general are puzzled how to fix their mind in the service of the Lord. They are always disturbed about finding the real path of self-realization. Srila Narada stressing this particular defect in the Vedic literatures compiled by the by Vyasadeva, and thus he's trying to emphasize describing everything in relation with the Supreme Lord, and no one else. In fact, no one else. In fact, there is nothing existent except the Lord. The Lord is manifested in different expansions. He's the root of the complete tree. He's the stomach of the complete body. Pouring water on the root is the right process to water the tree. As much as feeding the stomach supplies energy to all parts of the body. Therefore, Srila Vyasadeva should not have compiled any Puranas other than the Bhagavata Purana, because a slight deviation from that may create havoc for self-realization. If a self-deviation can create such havoc, then what to speak to deliberate expansion of the ideas separate from the absolute truth personality of Godhead. The most defeated part of the worshipping demigod is that it creates a definite conception of Patheism, ending disastrously in many religions, sects detrimental to the progress of the principles of the Bhagavatam, which alone can give the accurate direction for self-realization in eternal relation with the personality of Godhead by devotional service and transcendental love. The example of the boat disturbed by whirling wind is suitable in this respect. The diverted mind of the pantheist can never reach the perfection of self-realization due to the disturbed condition of the selection of object. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Naveen Prabhu is there.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Translation. The people in general are naturally inclined to enjoy, and you have encouraged them in that way in the name of religion. This is condemned. This is rarely condemned, and is quite, thank you, Mataji, is quite unreasonable, because they are guided under your instructions. They will accept such activities in the name of religion and will hardly care for prohibitions. Purport. Srila Vyasadeva's compilation of different Vedic literature on the basis of regulated performances of fruitive activities as depicted in the Mahabharata and other literature is condemned herewith by Srila Narada. The human being, by long material association, life after life, have a natural inclination by practice to endeavor to lord it over material energy. They have no sense of the responsibility of human life. This human form of life is a chance to get out of the clutches of illusory matter. The Vedas are meant for going back to Godhead, going back home. To revolve in the cycle of transmigration in a series of lives numbering 84 lakhs is an imprisoned life for the condemned conditional souls. The human form of life is a chance to get out of this imprisoned life, and as such, the only occupation of the human being is to re-establish his lost relationship with God. Under the circumstances, one should never be encouraged in making a plan for sense enjoyment in the name of religious functions. Such diversion of the human energy results in a misguided civilization. Srila Vyasadeva is the authority in Vedic explanation in the Mahabharata, etc. And his encouragement in sense enjoyment in some form or order in a great warrior for spiritual advancement, because the people in general will not agree to renounce material activities which hold them in material bondage. At a certain stage of human civilization, when such material activities in the name of religion, as sacrificing animals in the name of yajna, were too much rampant, the Lord incarnated himself as Buddha and decried the authority of the Vedas in order to stop animal sacrifice in the name of religion. This was foreseen by Narada, and therefore he condemned such literature. The flesh eaters still continue to perform animal sacrifice before some demigods or goddess in the name of religion, because in some of the Vedic literature, such regulated sacrifices are recommended. They are so recommended to discourage flesh eating, but gradually the purpose of such religious activities is forgotten and the slaughterhouses become prominent. This is because foolish materialistic men do not care to listen to others who are actually in a position to explain the Vedic rites. Krishna Mataji. Mataji, can I read? Or
Who's this?
Mataji, can I continue or
No,
someone else?
Prabhuji. Who are you there?
Lavish Prabhu is there. Akinchan Priya Prabhu there.
Akinchan Priya Prabhu? Who is available next? Who is available?
I'd like to start with in the Vedas, right, Mataji?
In the Vedas, Prabhu, yeah.
Yeah. In the Vedas, it is distinctly said that the perfection of the life is never to be attained either by the voluminous work or by the accumulation of wealth or even by increasing the population. But it is so attained only by renunciation. The materialistic will do not care to listen to such injunctions. According to them, the so-called renounced order of the life, renounced order of life is meant for those who are unable to earn their livelihood because of some corporeal defects, or for the persons who have failed to achieve the prosperity in the family life. In the histories like Mahabharata, of course, there are topics of transcendental subjects along with the material topics. The Bhagavad Gita is there in the Mahabharata. The whole idea of Mahabharata culminates in the ultimate instruction of Bhagavad Gita that one should relinquish all other engagements and should engage oneself solely and fully in surrendering unto the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. But well, with materialistic tendencies are more attracted to the politics, economics, and philanthropic activities mentioned in the Mahabharata than the principal topic, namely the Bhagavad Gita. This compromising spirit of Vyasadeva is directly condemned by Narada, who advises him to directly proclaim that the prime necessity of human life is to realize one's eternal relationship with Lord and thus surrender unto him without delay. A patient suffering from a particular type of malady is almost always inclined to accept eatables which are forbidden for him. The expert physician does not make any compromise with the patient by allowing him to take partially what he should not at all take. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is also said that a man attached to the fruitive work should not be discouraged from his occupation. For gradually he may be elevated to the position of self-realization. This is sometimes applicable for those who are only dry empirical philosophers without spiritual realization. But those who are in the devotional line need not always be so advised. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Shall I continue or somebody is
Lavish Prabhu. Lavish Prabhu, are you there?
Hare Krishna, yes, Prabhuji. Translation. The Supreme Lord is unlimited. Only a very expert personality retired from the activities of material happiness deserve to understand this knowledge of spiritual values. Therefore, those who are not so well situated due to material attachment should be shown the ways of transcendental realization by your goodness through description of the transcendental activities of the Supreme Lord. Purport. Theological science is a difficult subject, especially when it deals with the transcendental nature of God. It is not a subject matter to be understood by persons who are too much attached to material activities. Only the very expert who have almost retired from materialistic activities by culture of spiritual knowledge can be admitted to the study of this great science. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is clearly stated that out of many hundreds and thousands of men, only one person deserves to enter into the transcendental realization. And out of many thousands of such transcendently realized persons, only a few can understand the theological science specifically dealing with God as a person. Srila Vyasadeva is therefore advised by Narada to describe the science of God directly by relating his transcendental activities. Vyasadeva is himself a personality expert in this science, and he is unattached to material enjoyment. Therefore, he is the right person to describe it. And Sukdev Goswami, the son of Vyasadeva, is the right person to receive it. Srimad Bhagavatam is the topmost theological science, and therefore it can react to the layman as a medicinal dose because it contains the transcendental activities of the Lord. There is no difference between the Lord and the literature. The literature is a factual, literally incarnation of the Lord. So the layman can hear the narrations of the activities of the Lord. Thereby they are able to associate with the Lord and thus gradually become purified from material diseases. The expert devotees also can discover novel ways and meant to convert the non-devotees in terms of particular time and circumstances. Devotional service is dynamic activity, and the expert devotees can find out competent means to inject it into the dull brains of the materialistic population. Such transcendental activities of the devotees for the service of Lord can bring a new order of life to the foolish society of materialism men. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his subsequent followers exhibited expert dexterity in this connection. By following the same method, one can bring materialistic men of this age of quarrel into order of peaceful life and transcendental realization.
Giriraj Prabhu, you can give.
Yeah, I'll read, Mother. Thank you. Yes. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. One who has forsaken his material occupations to engage in this devotional service of the Lord may sometimes fall down while in an immature stage. Yet there is no danger of being unsuccessful. On the other hand, a non-devotee, though fully engaged in occupational duties, does not gain anything. That means, just want to add, Mataji, even though if we, that verse I am remembering, Neha Bikravana Shosti, that's whatever little endeavor in this service, it will no loss and no diminution. It's always there. But whereas in occupational duties and materialistic activities, no hope actually. It's again, does not gain anything. Prabhupada writes in this translation. Purport. As far as the duties of mankind are concerned, there are innumerable duties. Every man is duty bound not only to his parents, family members, society, country, humanity, other living beings, the demigods, etc., but also to the great philosophers, poets, scientists, etc. It is enjoined in the scriptures that one can relinquish all such duties and surrender unto the service of the Lord. So if one does so and becomes successful in the discharge of his devotional service unto the Lord, it is well and good. But it so happens sometimes that one surrenders himself unto the service of the Lord by some temporary sentiment, and in the long run, due to so many other reasons, he falls down from the path of service by undesirable association. There are so many instances of this in the histories. Bharata Maharaja, who obliged to take his birth as a stag due to his intimate attachment to a stag, he thought of the stag when he died. As such, in the next birth, he became a stag, although he did not forget the incident of his previous birth. Similarly, Chitraketu also fell down due to his offenses at the feet of Shiva. But in spite of all this, the stress is given here to surrendering unto the lotus feet of the Lord, even if there is a chance of falling down, because even though one falls down from the prescribed duties of devotional service, he will never forget the lotus feet of the Lord. Once engaged in the devotional service of the Lord, one will continue the service in all circumstances. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that even a small quantity of devotional service can save one from the most dangerous position. There are many instances of such examples in history. Ajamila is one of them. Ajamila in his early life was a devotee, but in his youth he fell down. Still, he was saved by the Lord at the end. Hare Krishna. Yeah.
I think all have completed. Should we continue, Prabhuji, or should we stop?
It's all of your decision, Mataji. I'm just 8:30. It's just 8:30.
Yeah.
So another, if you Mataji want to read 3 more verses, it's okay. Let us read. It's up to you, Mataji. Prabhuji.
We can read tomorrow, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay, sir.
Put this link in the group, Mataji. We can continue from tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji and Mataji. Again, Dandavat pranams. Vancha kalpataru best Ananta Koti Sharanda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada Transcendental Book Reading ki jai. Ita Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Have a happy Krishna conscious day.
Thank you.
All.
Jai Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam.
Dandavat pranam.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.